Today, I want to continue with the discussion about food, health, and enjoyment. This is part 2. Remember, in part 1, we talked about the 3 basic influences on the kind of food we eat. First one is cultural influence, then geographic influence, and then infomercial influence. And what are the limits of those things? The cultural influence will give us the limits of exposure because very few of us are exposed to multi-cultures. We are normally exposed to just one culture. Geographic influence gives us the physical limits. We happen to live in one place, so we tend to eat the kind of food that is available in that place. And the infomercial influence doesn't give us any limits, but gives us a lot of distortions. It gives us a lot of distorted pictures and impressions about the food we eat. It could very well be creative too, but then make sure that they are good for your health and enjoyment, because infomercial means there is a commercial part to it. Now, since we know about those influences, then we also know that it's not easy to have an objective view about the kind of food we eat, because what we are hearing every day may not be true. Then you also know that the more you try to learn about food, the more infomercials you tend to get. And you begin to ask, is this effort worthwhile? I would say not really. You don't need to spend that much time on researching the food. All you need is to apply your common sense. There is a better way. Ultimately, you have to rely on your common sense. So what do I mean by common sense? All you need to ask is just one question. What is the purpose of food? When we ask this basic question, we inevitably goes back to food has to fulfill 2 conditions. It has to give you health, and it has to give you enjoyment. Now we come to a very important idea, the idea of moderation. This idea is appealing to your common sense. It means that without moderation, your enjoyment of food will tend to become an indulgence. It's not only food, it's everything else, including the kind of things you do. So we know that indulgence is never good for health because you tend to do it too much. And moderation doesn't only mean that it's exercising control. It also means no extremes. You do it in the middle. You don't try to be doing it too much or doing it too little. So eating with moderation will always help you enjoy life more. There is a Chinese saying that says, eat less and the food will taste better. Now, I want to give you another important idea, which is variety. We know that knowledge is fast expanding, and you will also know that what we know today will be obsolete very soon. If that's the case, why do we have to learn? Well, we just have to. And we need to ask the question that the so-called right kind of food that we eat today may not be right tomorrow, because knowledge is expanding. So the good attitude should be knowing we are not right all the time, but we expand the list of the food we eat every day rather than sticking with the so-called right kind of food for today. In this way, we improve, we become progressive every day. In order to expand the list of food that you eat every day, all you do is you try to eat something new and see if you like them. Chances are you will find something you like. When you find something you like, you eat a little bit more. And if something you don't like, you just eat a little bit less. You don't have to stay out of it altogether. Why? One thing you need to be aware of is that the body needs all kinds of nutrients. How many kinds? What are they? We don't need to know because there are just too many of them. Then what do we do? Because we know that the body will absorb the right amounts of the right kind of nutrients that it needs and rejects the rest. So all we need is to give the body as many choices as possible. There's no need to force feed yourself with the right kind of nutrients. There's no need to inject all kinds of vitamins because the vitamins are present in the food you eat. You don't need tons of them. All you need is a little bit of vitamins, different kinds every day. So all you need is to give your body the widest choice of food and let your body decide what it needs. It will absorb them. I also want to help you aware of the fact that for those people who have a restricted list of the things they eat, they usually suffer from malnutrition. How can we achieve balance? When we have achieved moderation and variety, we almost achieve balance. Balance means middle of the road among many choices. And for the Chinese culture, they take the concept of balance a little further. If you want to understand more about the Chinese concept of balance, all I want you to do is to review my 3 videos which I have done on YouTube already. Their titles are Concept of Balance, number 24, Hot and Cold, Ancient Concept, 23, and Hot and Cold Part 2, number 26.